Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier, Dead Man's Wire. I just saw this film. I actually had a double header tonight. I just reviewed the other film I saw, which you can watch on Mike Messier, Mike Messier stuff on YouTube or whatever the hell. This one, Dead Man's Wrist, was based on true events. Gus Van Sant, who many years ago, I believe Gus Van Sant is the gentleman that directed Kids, I Have No Legs, I Have No Legs, and he did another movie, I believe, titled Elephant, which was about kind of a very it was like a movie about Columbine shooting without being about Columbine shooting, basically. And he's done a lot of other films that I'm sure you've all seen and yada yada. He's kind of one of those probably top 20 or top 50 directors in the United States, at least for the last 30 or 40 years, but he's not as widely discussed, I would say. Occasionally, he makes a film that strikes a nerve and people talk about it. Will this be that? I don't know. This is a based on true events thing. It seems mild in comparison, sort of, to stuff that goes on now, but basically, there's this working, it's 1977, I believe. There's this working guy, kind of lower, I guess you'd say, self-described poor guy who goes into this loan administration building and takes captive the son of the guy that owns the business. And the guy that owns the business is on vacation in Florida, and that's played by Al Pacino. So instead, he's basically kidnapping Carrie Ools. Now, I always get confused, and someone just corrected me. Is Carrie Ools the same actor that was in The Princess Bride? The same little blonde guy from The Princess Bride? Is that the same guy that's in Something About Mary? Or is there two different guys? And someone in the wonderful comments section corrected me not too long ago because I middle merged, I conjoined these two separate human beings, and I made like that movie with the chick from Glow and her husband, Franco. I made a movie where I combined, together. I put these two actors into one conglomeration of a beast. But apparently, Carrie Ools is I believe, the blonde guy in this thing. There was another famous actress name that was listed at the end of the movie, it was like a sexy actress from the 2000s. Her name was listed, but then I couldn't figure out who she was in this film. I get that a lot now. Like, I watch a movie and you see like some name at the end credits, and it's like, were they in the fucking movie? Kate Winslet, like her name was at the Avatar end, and it's like, oh, she's the voice of the fucking green woman, like the green Avatar from the Sea People, like wonderful, all these things. So in any event, this movie's pretty good. It was entertaining. I was captivated by it. Um, but one guy's being held hostage, and it's kind of this morality play. What's the dead man's wire? If you put a fucking shotgun around this poor gentleman's fucking, you like put a wire around his throat, and then you get like the wire is attached to the shotgun. So if the guy makes a sudden movement to escape, he's going to pull the trigger and blow his own head off. Like, it's a pretty intense thing. These days, you kind of think that the police or the FBI would just take a shot at the abductor and they would just shoot him in the head and that would be the end of it. But I guess they have better equipment these days and better radars or whatever the fucks. And it's just an interesting thing. I thought the movie was pretty good, or very good, I shall say. I don't know. I mean, Al Pacino as the father was really good. He didn't have a lot of scenes, but there's this one phone call scene that was pretty interesting. The guy, I guess the character that I had, like I thought whether it was Carrie Ools or whoever the fuck, the guy playing the son who's abducted, I thought he did a really great job, like with basically less lines, less action, but he really acted well with his eyes. I had mixed feelings, however, on the guy that's like the guy with the gun, basically. Like, I felt sitting there as an actor myself, I felt a little competitive because I was kind of second guessing some of his choices and thinking, would I do things a little differently were I to be cast in that role? Because that's a role that I could play in my fucking sleep. Okay. So I was just watching this thinking, At some points, he's pushing a little too much. At other times, he's not pushing enough, meaning pushing the psychoticness, pushing the psycho energy. And I just kind of felt, I feel like he did fine, but I feel like that's kind of a role in a movie where if ever there was a time to go Jack Nicholson Cuckoo's Nest, that's the fucking time. Like, that's the movie where if you're gonna let loose, and I don't know, I've never worked with Gus. I've never worked with Gus Van Sant, but I kind of have the feeling that if some actor went in and really fucking chomped into a character like that, I mean, I don't know if Gus like is looking for some Gus, like he's my friend, like he's looking for some type of authenticity or going under, as I used to say as an acting coach. But I do feel like this movie could have been jazzed up with like a better, more exciting performance by the bad guy, quite honestly, because that will come into play later as we discover in the film. I mean, I think like I'm fucking me or Matthew McConaughey, Matthew McConaughey, an actor of our ilk could have accomplished this, okay? So I just don't feel like this dude that played depends on who you're asking. Is he the bad guy? Is he the good guy? Is he Peter Pan or Robin Hood? That would be an interesting battle, by the way. Peter Pan and Robin Hood. Those are two other characters you can kind of co-join in your mind. Who's better, Robin Hood or Peter Pan? Who's more of a weirdo? One's hanging out in the forest with Little John, and one's kidnapping little children to go play with his boys. So it's like they're both a couple of weirdos, Robin Hood and Peter Pan. One's got a peanut butter, though. The other one's got an app. So going back to this thing, was it great? Was it good? I mean, it's worth watching. I did go see this movie tonight because tomorrow is Thursday, and a bunch of the auditoriums will be hogged up by this movie Mercy, which I happened to see this past Monday, and I already did a Mike's Instant Movie Review. You can look for that on Mike Messier's stuff on the demonetized Mike Messier YouTube channel, by the way. I may be starting, what's that thing? A Patreon, which I should have started 20 years ago, but maybe I'll do that this year, among all the other things I'm doing. So anyway, folks, was this movie great? It wasn't great. It was good. Was I riveted? I mean, I guess to an extent I was riveted. Not much of a love story in this thing. No romance, no hot and steamy sex. There's no Rosie Perez dance scene. But, it was fine. It wasn't great. But of the two movies tonight, this was the better one. The second one was Night Patrol, a horror film with CM Punk, Phil Brooks, as his friends call him, that you can watch. Or at least you can watch my review. So overall, folks, it was not a great night at the cinema. It was a good night at the cinema. I'm glad I went. I experienced some things. But this is like, you ever hear those things of like when a screenwriter or an actor, they see some movie that kind of triggers them, like, I could do better than that. This is kind of one of those nights for me. Like watching these two movies, I kind of feel like I could do better than that. Like I feel like some of this entertainment is not that entertaining. At least I have scripts that I've written that are better than these, or at least as good. I would say that definitely better than this Night Patrol horse shit horror film. I do feel like the Gus Van Sant film that I saw is pretty good. But like I said, I just feel like the fucking actor, he was probably trying to really play the guy like how the guy really was. And I did like the fact that they showed some footage from the real events at the end. I was hoping to see that. Other people were walking out, but that was like my favorite part of the movie, like the real footage, But I just felt like you could have played the real guy less and just made a character more. So whoever the actor is that played that, shame. You should have done things like I would have. But I just felt like that's how I felt. So your buddy Mike Messier, MikeMessier.com, Instagram, TikTok, Mike Messier Art.